Good evening. I'd like to reconvene the Town of Lake Cowichan special meeting at 7:12 on May 12th, 2026. It's being held and transmitted electronically via the council chambers here, which are located at 39 South Shore Road. And within this, I also would like to state that we are residing within the traditional territory of the Subasset First Nation. We have right to delegations and representations. We have MNP with their presentation of the 2025 draft audit financial statements. Welcome, Corey.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So in your packages, I'm going to take you through a quick summary of the financial statements. I'd be happy to answer any questions around the financial results. We are happy to be providing what we call a clean audit opinion this year for the town. We are satisfied that the financial statements are presented accurately in all material respects in accordance with local government accounting standards. The highlights for the year, starting with the statement of operations, what we used to call the income statement. So for 2025, the town had total revenues of $10.5 million, very consistent with the prior year and with budget, and total expenses of $8.1 million for an accounting surplus of $2.4 million. There are a lot of accountant adjustments in that number, so to unwind that and think more in line with what your budget looks like, the cash flow statement is what we look at next. Regular operations of the town were brought in cash inflows of $3.2 million, and there was capital spending of $1.7 million throughout the year. So a net cash inflow at the end of the year of $1.5 million. On the balance sheet, so a snapshot of what was in the accounts at the end of December 31st, 2025, the town has cash and investments of $27.3 million, total financial assets of $28.7 million. Total liabilities, payables, and other accruals are $5.9 million. So if you subtract those liabilities from the financial assets, you get what we call the net financial assets, or the liquid position, of $22.8 million. Tangible capital assets being managed by the town are on the books at $38.8 million. Important to note that is a historic cost, not the replacement value of those amounts. That's what was spent or purchased throughout the history of the town. And the accumulated surplus at the end of the year of $62 million. That number of $62 million is split up into three main accounts. You've got reserves set aside of $4 million. You've got what we call the equity and tangible capital assets of $38.4 million. And that is not a cash value. That is the value of all the assets minus the debt. And operating funds of a $19.5 million surplus. As I mentioned off the top, we are providing a clean audit opinion. Again, thank you to staff for going through the audit process. The last step is council approval here tonight. When we do our audit, we get an understanding of controls to make sure that you're getting accurate financial results. We sample transactions when we form our audit opinion, and to do that, we use a materiality number of $520,000. That number is calculated as a percentage of your revenues. What that means is that we're looking at every transaction that's larger than that, and we're sampling underneath that. If we find something that we disagree with staff on, that's my bar for a clean audit opinion. We didn't find any irregularities or any items on the financial statements or conflict of interest. And again, thank you to staff. And the last thing I will say for the presentation is just reconfirming our independence, that MMP as a firm didn't do any other projects or work with the town that would impair my ability to give you an independent audit opinion.
Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for the presentation. Any questions or comments on the audited financial statements? I think it's important that we put to bed right now that the $62 million on page 13 consists of numerous assets of the town. For instance, the town hall,
Yes.
the water treatment facility, and any other facilities that we currently have within our inventory. It is not $62 million worth of cash that we can go out and buy anything we wish. Within there resides development cost charges and other restricted reserves within those numbers. So before the social media lights up with how flush the town is, I think it's important that we dissect what is truly available for the town to utilize in those surpluses. Again, thank you for the presentation,
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
and I probably need a motion from council to accept the 2025 draft audited financial statements. I have Councillor Bomaka and Councillor Sandu. Further discussion? All in favor? Opposed? That motion carries. Thank you again, Corey. Thank you, staff, for helping with the financial statements this year. Safe travels.
Thank you.
So if we continue on, there is no correspondence in the special meeting. No council and committee reports. We're all the way down to bylaws. So we have the financial plan bylaw number 1131 for adoption. Would someone like to introduce this one?
Sure. Bylaw 1131-2026, the 5-year financial plan, received first, second, and third reading at the last meeting, and it is here now for council consideration and adoption.
Any questions on the bylaw? So this is for final adoption. Moved by Councillor Sandu, seconded by Councillor Frisbee. No further comments. All in favor? Opposed, if any? Motion carries. And then we move on to the 2026 annual rates bylaw number 1132. Follow along. Ms. Gill again?
Yes, before the annual rates bylaw can be passed, a 5-year financial plan must be passed, which has been done. So now bylaw 1132-2026, which is the annual rates bylaw, has received first, second, and third reading on April 28th and is here for reconsideration and adoption.
Looking at that bylaw, are we okay? Moved by Councillor Austin, seconded by Councillor Frisbee. Further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed, if any? That motion carries. And if we move on, there's no new business, no mayor's report, no notices of motion, no question period because there's no one here. I'll listen for the phone call for 10 seconds. Quit yawning. People are watching. So I would move that we go in camera, return to in camera for the final portion of that. Moved by Councillor Bomaka, seconded by Councillor Austin. All in favor? Opposed, if any?